And we live, baby. Thank you for hanging out with us. You're rocking with the best crew about the night. You know, we got another exciting episode for you guys today. Episode 23. And we in the building with Yatzeny. Woo! We in the building today. How you doing, Yatz?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so very much for coming on to our show. We always love to get every perspective we can. You're the second lady guest that we've actually had on this show. So we're really excited to have you on. Hopefully you're excited to be here too. Excited
and a little bit nervous. I don't know why.
It's all right. After a while, we'll be okay.
Yeah, we don't bite.
Okay.
At least right now we don't. Later, I don't know. Nah, but man, you know how we do every weekend, man. About the night, we rock with the best crew. We got my boy Warren behind the ones and twos. We got my boy Tony taking a break from the ones and twos. Obviously, the main man Rob, and we here to just rock with you guys. So we brought you on the show. We want to kind of understand you, know who you are, and what was your life in the nightlife industry, I guess. So, what did you do in the nightlife?
I did bottle service. I think I started working in the industry back in 2016 or 2017. I started off doing VIP hosting back at Vanguard.
Okay.
R.I.P. Vanguard.
All right, yeah, for
real.
No
longer around.
Yeah, I like that spot.
Yeah, it was cool. It was small, so that was a good place to start. Mm-hmm. So I had a friend who I met mutually through other friends, like while going out, and she was the VIP host at Vanguard. Mm-hmm. And then she basically got promoted to do bottle service. So then the job was open, and she called me. She's like, "Hey, would you like to, take over and do VIP hosting?" And I said, "Sure." It's only like 3 hours or something. I was like, quick in and out, and quick money. And then from there, I got basically promoted as well for bottle service, and then I did it until we got shut down as a country.
Right.
The pandemic, yeah.
COVID shut everybody down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely remember working with you at Mish Mish Murdy, so it was definitely the good days. Definitely the good days. What got you started in being a bottle service, or I should say, a VIP host? Was it really just your friend? It was like, come on in, and
yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it. It was just kind of like, oh, it's a easy, quick way to just get extra cash, and then from there it became, bottle service, and then it was kind of hard to stop when you can pay your rent in a weekend.
Damn.
So it's like, how can you say no to that?
Right.
Especially if you're about your money, because I was there to make money, not to party.
Right.
So I figured, I'm like, if I'm not out and I'm not going to be, at home sleeping or doing anything productive, might as well,
be making some money.
Yeah. Right. That makes more sense.
I feel you there. Well, so you had a friend who reached out to you. Like, what are some of the qualifications, like, to be in a bottle host or bottle server? What do you have to, You got to have like a bachelor degree,
no.
5 years experience,
well, unfortunately, they hire you by looks.
Okay.
That's just kind of how it is. Kind of a little insight on that, and then obviously you have to perform. You can't just show up and think you're just gonna get paid to look cute. Like, you actually have to do your job. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what's up. Yeah,
there's many that act like that though.
Right.
Unfortunately,
and some that may not be qualified, but yet are working too. Then, huh? Okay.
I could go with any job.
Yeah, that's true too, right?
I know a lot of people can't drive a bus.
He
almost crashed into me today.
So you've been doing bottle services for a while, and it seems like you're really interested in the money aspect of it, which is good. Really good. So with you being, interested in money, there's always like certain things that tempt people, Did you have anything that would tempt you that you shouldn't be doing, like whether it be alcohol,
vices?
No.
Yeah, those vices. What's tempting?
That's Winton's favorite word.
Never men, that's for sure. I'm not really, especially if I would see them often, that's just not what I'm attracted to. Like, a man that's always at the club, like, to me, that's a red flag. 'Cause I don't always like to be at the club. The reason why I could do bottle service was because I didn't feel like I was missing out, I guess the temptation for me would be on, like, some nights where, like, my friends were out, I'd I'd rather be kind of hanging out with them than, working. But most of the time, I was fine just working. Yeah, it was never like, oh, temptation with the men. That's just not how.
What about, outside of just your own experience, maybe people that you've seen, that you work with? Do you see that temptations is something that can grab a hold of them, especially if they're not self-aware?
Like the men that I worked with?
Oh, no, women. Like the other bottle servers, basically your peers, or anybody else, any like other positions that are in the nightclub. Is there anybody? Do you see temptations kind of taking over and it changing, who they are? Maybe they didn't think it was an issue until they started working there.
Yeah, I think the number one thing would be, I'm okay working at the club because I kind of feel like I'm a part of it, but I'm working and making money. But then they get there and they're like, no, I'd rather be drinking with my friends, and then they get fucked up,
right?
Thinking that they can pull it off, and then it doesn't really work out that well.
That's the temptation I was talking about. You even mentioned it, like when your friends come, like, do you have that temptation to drink? Or, some people is drinking, some people is drugs, some people is dancing.
Okay. There were some times, there were some times where, the management would be like, oh, you guys can absolutely not drink. It's not that it was a temptation, but it was more like, it comes with the business a little bit. Like, we show up, we bring you a bottle, and there's lights and there's signs, and we're all, it's a part of the job to hype them up, pouring them shots, and then they offer you one, and then you turn it down. That's kind of whack. Like, I'm not going to lie.
Right. Okay.
It's like, I don't want to dampen the mood after we did all this, and they're spending money. So I was always okay with, like, pouring them a shot. The bottle's in my hand. I'm in control of how big my shot is. Take a little baby one, just, kind of just be involved.
To party with them.
Yeah, at least, fake it a little bit.
Yeah, fake it.
But there were times where I'm like, okay, I haven't been out in a long time because all I do is work. I do kind of want to, like, have fun. But
everybody want to get their beak wet.
Yeah.
It happens.
Every once in a while,
Right. Some people more than others.
Right.
Yeah.
More often than others.
Yeah.
Well, temptation is real with alcohol. I know that when we work in there, guys and girls will offer us drinks. And, sometimes I feel like it's, meaningless to offer us the drink. And then sometimes I feel like it empowers them. Like, man, I just gave he's cool. He's my people, man. We just had a shot together. He ain't going to kick me out. He on my side.
Shit.
Yeah, but then they snitch on you when they mess up. 100. And they're trying to get kicked out. Well, trying to ask for it.
That's when they head hits the door by accident on the way out. When they do that. Oh, you snitching? Okay.
Oh man, you tripped right before you went out, man. That's what happened to your head, man. Come on, man. Walk better. Right. Walk a little safer, right? So, we usually start this thing off about what happens, every weekend, because something always goes down. Yeah. Every single weekend. And I think I even talked to you previously in the week, like, we start one way and we end the other way, because every weekend there's something new that happens. And this weekend was nothing short of that. I will say that for sure. There was, we had a concert in the park here in Sacramento. Concert in the park was actually dope as hell. I went, enjoyed myself, had my kid with me, hanging on my shoulders. I'll post those pictures later. We also had Lovers and Friends Festival, Vegas. Yeah. As soon as I heard it was popping, Shanti Ja Rule was on stage. You had a few people out there, doing their thing.
That's like my whole childhood right there.
I heard it was like it was a sequel to childhood. It was a sequel to Lion King. They had a sequel at Love and Friends Festival. You don't get that, huh? No. Sequel.
Nah.
Lion King. Stampede. Come on, man. Simba was in there.
Oh, there was a stampede?
There was a stampede. Come on, man.
You reaching.
Come on, man.
You way over
I didn't know that.
I was
you reaching. Way up there.
Wait, so what?
Okay, I heard there was a situation where they had to have a few people, I guess, exit the...
So you mean more like a Travis Scott situation?
That's what they're trying to compare it to. I wouldn't say it was on that same level, but I did hear...
Because I had friends that were at the Travis Scott, and they said that they were like crushed and piled under people. And
damn.
Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard it was, I heard it was a small, trampling out there. But I mean, that was one thing that happened this weekend. But what I seen recently was really disturbing to me. Was this mass shooting that took place at a grocery store.
Yep.
Did you see that?
I did. Actually, I remember I was driving and my mom brought it up and she was like, yeah, this happened, 10 people shot in New York at a grocery store. She's like, what sucks is that they put it on the media and then other kids get ideas of what to do, like to get attention. And I was like, I kind of brushed that off and I was like, to my understanding, I always believed that, or maybe I just thought if a kid brings a gun to school or whatever, it has to do with like bullying or how they treat them at school or something going on at home that we might not know about. But now, like, knowing that people do these things and they want to get attention from them, right? And like she basically called it as soon as that was announced, and like apparently this kid was recording right on Twitch.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy to me.
Let's go ahead and take a quick moment to play this clip, and we'll just go ahead and just talk to you guys. We'll go ahead and post this video online for you guys to see it here in a moment. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and play the video and talk about what happens. What I can see immediately is this dude is just driving, and he's driving with almost bicycle gloves. You know those bicycle gloves that are hard around your knuckles?
Those are tactical.
Tactical gloves, however you look at it.
He's like military.
He drives up, stops the semi-automatics on the passenger side. He hops out and he just
looks like there's holes already in the door.
Like, who was that walked by? You don't even know. Looked like someone that was just working there. He throws a few shots in the window like someone was behind the barricade, like he's playing Call of Duty or something.
He's at 17 rounds.
He's legit playing Call of Duty.
That makes sense though, because Twitch is mostly used for like gaming, right? So maybe he wanted to do his real life.
Okay, yeah. He's got a 30-round clip.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw this. I didn't realize what I was seeing, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know about the shooting all that much. I stumbled on the video.
This is important, right?
And so I started watching it, and I'm thinking,
hold on, right there.
I thought this was.
Did you see him skipping?
You know how some of these guys they come up with this movie quality type cutscenes.
Yeah,
they've been doing that. Like they've been really making, like the one that did the zombie chase. Like it was fake. It was like but it was like movie, right?
Yeah.
I thought that's what this was, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that just looks way too real. And I'm like, it literally looked like from a first person shooter position, and I was like, I was just like horrified by the whole situation. I was like, he really just went in there like it was Battlefield
and just started
just started laying people down.
So do you think it was like a hate crime or a racist
So
thing?
I will say yes, because of what you said, Tony. At the end there was a guy that was on the ground. He was white on the ground. He said sorry.
He said sorry to him.
The guy on the ground screamed and was like, "Oh!" And the shooter was like, "Oh, sorry."
See it right now.
There's a lot of stuff coming out about it.
Do you see the writing on his gun?
Yes,
there's
a lot of writing on there too.
Yes,
damn, this nigga, man.
There's a lot of stuff. Like I started, reading about it and stuff like that. And he, out of the 10 people that were killed, 8 were black.
Yeah.
So 8 out of the 10 were black.
I feel like the first lady he killed was just kind of like
innocent.
She was white. It was just kind of like, okay, I need to
I need to get it started somehow.
Yeah.
Like.
But I think I read that there was a quote that he said something about like some people will like what I did. So that's why it makes me feel like it was really.
What's sad about that is he's right.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the disappointing part, is that he's right. If he did say that there are going to be people that feel that way. I mean, it's
what is that?
obvious.
What is that implying?
I mean, it looks like it's hate crime when you got 8 out of 10 black people they're killed. They're looking at
some people will think it's okay, or
it's a demographic of people that feel like that this is what they deserve.
But what's the name of it though? It's called something.
White supremacists.
No, the name of the theory.
Oh,
replacement theory.
Replacement theory.
Yes. So basically, what happens, or what the whole reason why he even did this, is because of the fact that they talk about replacement theory. Supposedly, there's this whole, the Jews and blacks and Mexicans and everybody else. There's a demographic that's about to change, and there's not going to be whites anymore.
You know what?
So
That
he's
makes
trying
sense.
to protect that.
It makes sense, and I say it that way because the color white is pure, right? It's white, and you can make any different color by using a shade of white. But at this current point, and I feel like it's becoming more normal that we're having mixed babies, and I feel like some people may have the fear that if everybody's mixed, we're all the same, right? And is that a problem?
No.
Is that a problem?
For some, though,
for some people, it is
because there's a privilege that
They
comes
feel like
with
they're
that.
getting washed away or
right. There's a privilege that comes with that, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. It's not like pressing a button. A lot of people that look down upon, there's privileges everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care. There's privileges of being a woman. There's privileges of being a man. There's privileges to being white. There's privileges to being Asian. Like, there's privileges all the way around, but there's different levels to the privilege too.
Yeah, it just ends up being stacked, white, male.
Yeah. And it just, so it's like, it's basically how many points you got. How many privilege points can you have is going to lessen the chance of you being more susceptible for a crime when you could be doing all the wrong shit, but you're not basically being perceived as being guilty. So it's a different thing when you got two people doing a crime, two different races. One's perceived being a certain way and the other one's not. Those people that are perceived being a certain way are going to get locked up more. Period. It has nothing to do with the amount of crimes.
Makes sense.
Because at the end of the day, they've done all the statistics. The crimes are about the same, especially when you go into those type of neighborhoods. Anyone that's under the poverty line, when you start looking at income, look at education.
The punishment isn't the same, though.
No, it's not. And that's where, but I think a lot of that comes from I think now it's kind of blended in. Before, in the past, they would give somebody for the same crime, if he was black, they give you, 20 years when he should have got 10, right? It's a little harder to do that now because of how the court systems have to check and balance themselves. Yeah. But the reason why there's so much disparity upon the sentencing, from what I've seen, is resources. White people in masses got more resources to fight the case. We see it all the time. I mean, we're going to talk about here in a minute with the Amber Heard trial and Johnny Depp. That's money talking. Who got money in here to go on for a whole month with a trial? Right. That's privilege in itself. That's a money privilege thing. So when you are white or you're male, you usually predominantly have more resources at your disposal. The better chance you have to fight a case. If you live in check to check or you ain't got a job, you're on unemployment, you ain't fighting no case. You're gonna take a plea deal. Yeah. So the conviction rate is much higher. So I think that plays a lot of part into this. But
let me ask this question: he went to court, and what did he plead?
He pleaded not guilty.
Not guilty. How do you plead not guilty?
Insanity.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's flip. Let's flip it. Let's flip the script. Correct. Let's flip the script. Black dude, white grocery store does the same shit.
Well, that's what I was talking about. When you see him, it's funny that he's still alive. Like, if he was black, yeah, he would have been dead. Like, they would have ran up immediately and shot him. Like, that's just my belief.
Okay. Let's say they don't run up and shoot him, and he goes to court. Is he saying not guilty and pleading insanity?
But he just did.
But how is it insanity when you?
Well, here's the thing I was going to bring up.
When you plan this and you strap a camera to yourself and you
There's a lot. There's too much on this. I don't want to spend too much time, but what I will tell you is this. There's a lot about this that a lot of people don't realize. This guy drove 4 hours to go over to this place, this grocery store of Tops. Now, before this even happened, the day before, he was speaking with another black gentleman. Now, this entire thing, this is my conspiratorial side speaking right now, but when it came to this guy being there, he had a full long conversation with this guy, and he said he had like a genius shirt on, and he said straight up the guy was smart. He was all there. He was coherent. He was there. They had a great conversation. They were talking about critical race theory, so many different types of things, to where they were almost bonding, where it was like, they had a moment, but he said he was fidgety. He was kind of weird. He was nervous. Dude left. Then, he went back the next day and heard the shots when he was having lunch. He was supposed to be in that store where he normally goes, but there was a security guard there that said no more loitering. The same security guard that tried to fight that guy when he was there, and he got killed. Yeah. But what ended up happening at the end of it, obviously we know 10 people killed, such and such. But I think it's a little, not that it's fishy, is the DOD, Homeland Security, they look into things like this. We're in the most sophisticated times ever when it comes to the United States. We know what everybody's doing at what time. When you look at the information, this guy planned this since 2021. He's already planned to do something like this. The fact that the FBI, the CIA, they have a department. I don't know what they're called, but they look into things like this, and they knew this guy was going to do this. I think it's politically motivated to basically get people divisive, to get people to talk about, gun rights, things like that. Related. Because of the fact that they saw this guy, they saw what he was going to do, but they didn't stop him. Why? Because it would fit their agenda and they allowed it to happen. That's what I don't like about this, is you can tell they allowed this to happen.
If this was an open carry state, do you think he would have gotten that far?
No. Oh, open carry? No, somebody would have stopped him.
Let me ask, are these
that black guy on that same, like at nighttime, though, I'm sorry, it's a daytime. They did 2 interviews on him. You'll find him on YouTube. He literally on his daytime interview said, this isn't guns that did this. This is someone that was crazy that did this.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
I mean, but that's, the guns are a quick scapegoat.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to this, everyone wants a quick solution to the problem. You can take police, for example, and I know a few police officers, but this is the name of the game. Your job is to get a conviction, whether they the ones that did it or not. A lot of times people really not gonna care. That's why a lot of times a lot of crimes that get quote unquote solved, it ain't always the person that actually did it. They probably they already was doing bad shit. They already probably, they may have been guilty with something else, but they weren't guilty. Yeah, but they weren't guilty with that crime. So it's, number one, you're already easily convictable on that point. You're probably gonna take a plea deal anyway. So everybody's happy. The family gets to grieve and finally get to some justice, whether it's fake justice or not. It's justice nonetheless. A lot of that shit happens. It's a lot, the truth. And truth is in the eyes of what we're in today is overrated in the way they look at it. The truth rarely comes out like with stuff like this.
Yeah, and he literally like I said, it's something that they knew. They 100% knew, and it was perfect. They said, okay, let's check the boxes. Is he white? Does he believe in this? Does he believe in that? Did you see what he wrote on the gun? Here's your reparations. Like, there were so many things. Like, who would write that on the gun? It was just so set up, so perfect. I'm like, it's funny what you guys are about to do with this, but I don't know. It's summertime, right? Get ready for the riots. Something else gonna happen, I'm telling you.
You mentioned the truth was overrated. Truth is overrated sometimes.
The illusion of the truth is better and it's easier.
Illusion of the truth. All right, let's speak about the illusion of truth, which is this Johnny Depp situation. This Johnny Depp situation is crazy because I truthfully thought it was a one and done, and I thought Johnny Depp's career was over, and it still may be.
It always goes to female, right?
Oh well, there's a
chance that it may flip. Trust me, I've been catching up with this trial.
Right.
So my thing about it is that I've written Johnny Depp off as a woman abuser
because it's easy. Like I feel like she believes that it's easy to have people believe a woman that points a finger, so and so did this to me. It's kind of hard to question that. So I really believe that she thought that she could get away and with just saying things and then it just being it. No questions asked.
Right.
That's why I mentioned the privilege.
Yeah,
That's
privilege, and then you're a female. Yeah, to her advantage.
In that particular situation, a woman would have privilege in that sense. Anytime when it deals with domestic violence, anything like that, they would have that advantage. But we still got to hear it play out because a lot of times it can end up being, he is doing what she's claiming.
Right.
I'll be honest, because I'm a big film person, so I follow film a lot, and how much money he's lost. He got replaced for. I don't watch Harry Potter, but he got replaced for that movie.
Oh, the Fantastic Beasts.
Right.
I saw that.
I think they replaced him with Jude Law or something like that, or somebody else. But he got replaced for that because they knew it was going to be bad publicity to have Johnny Depp.
Right.
It's the same way with a lot of these actors. What's the name is going through that, but it's justified why he's going through it. Kevin Spacey with the child molestation, that type of thing, or having sex with a minor. But he should be out of work. But in his case, he lost roles because of this.
Right.
There was also the reason why people really, and I'm getting to the meat of this. The reason why people perceive Johnny Depp to be guilty was not just what she was saying. That's a big part of it. But it was because he lost an actual civil suit case where he basically tried to counter sue when she tried to. So there was a newspaper, I think it was called The Sun. They put in the article saying that he was a woman abuser. That not a trial hadn't happened yet. So he's
because
like,
they had settled before that and they had signed an NDA. Okay, this is done. We're not going to talk about it. And I think that's when she went on that interview. Right. And, spoke about it a little bit. And then it just got spun out.
Yeah, she spoke about it, but the Sun put that out that he was. They basically labeled him as that. tried to countersue them and say, hey, you can't just call me that because nothing's been official for that. Nothing's been concrete.
And he lost that?
But he lost that case. So they basically, when you lose a case like that, you have to provide evidence to show that why we can justify calling him a woman abuser. So we talked about this before, with slander. So me calling someone racist on this, let's say I do it on this podcast right now, and me not having my ducks in a row, I could be sued for slander because I'm basically saying something about somebody. It's defamation.
Preach, Rob, preach.
But the thing about it is, let's say this: I call someone racist, but I got a whole bunch of text messages, him calling me nigga, he calling this and doing that. Now I can say, you can't say slander. I got the proof to back up what I'm saying. So when that case came out where he lost it, they're like, oh, the son had to provide evidence to show that, hey, no, you were an abuser. Like basically you were enough to the point where we can use that label against you.
Yeah.
When he lost that, that's when all the basically the sharks started coming. And that's when he started losing the roles. He started losing, all the endorsement deals. You didn't see him on the Dior cologne and none of that. So now the trial's coming out more. Basically, they both toxic. I can say this right now.
I don't think either one of them is.
But I ain't gonna lie. There's levels to this because what's been coming out about
to a whole nother petty level of just white people and money and just.
Johnny, man, both of y'all got all this money. Y'all can just move on.
Let's do this.
They ain't got no kids together, right?
Because I know
I looked it up. I don't think they do, which is good, but still,
just dip, man. If it's like that,
what we want to do is, I know, let's have the audio up on it. I want to play just a snippet of what's happening because I know we're talking about the case, but I'm pretty sure not a lot of people have really paid attention to it. And I only say that because I was one of them.
It's been going on for like how many days now?
It's been a while.
Oh no, it's been weeks.
The only reason why I tuned in is because I kept seeing these goddamn memes of my dog stepped on a bee. That stupid shit. It had me like, what the fuck is really going on in this case? Like,
ridiculous.
The memes have been crazy. I saw a meme where her outfits have been insane.
Well, did you see how they're saying that she is trying to, like, if he'll dress in like a blue suit with the blue tie, the next day she'll dress similar to him. There was like some conspiracy going on that she's trying to like taunt him, and like I guess he wore like a gray suit with like a black tie with a bee on it. It might have been like Gucci or something with the bee. The next time she wears a tie with the bee, like, and then just I don't know if people are just trying to put two and two together and make something out of nothing.
They're Hollywood.
Yeah,
this is what they do.
Trying to get into people's heads because then they're trying to say that Johnny is like trying to pretend flirt with his lawyer in front of her to like get under her skin while she is like on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
there's some weird stuff you see. Like I saw one time where like they were getting off the stand and they had to get close to each other and they got scared. Like they actually she got scared and freaked out because he was near her and she was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna hurt me."
But maybe that was an act too.
Right.
Yeah. There was vice versa. No, so it's funny you just said that before we played the clip. This was prior to all this trial. They were on some red carpet event, something. They were together. I don't know if it was a movie event, something where they were showing up together. And someone showed the video, like she like raised her hand like to wave or something, and he flinched. This is before all of this. And so like people were like, "Hey man, he was already getting beat."
Right.
It was just they'll react. And now we're laughing, and that's something we do, especially at the men's expense when it comes to domestic violence, because men don't report that.
Right.
So
because we seem like less of a man if we report a woman.
That's why I think
and it's we just move on. It's something we just accept. And we do understand bigger, stronger, all that different type of stuff. It's not supposed to affect us, but it will affect you emotionally. But it's a build up. And usually what happens in those situations is a threshold gets breached.
What's crazy is
and then that's when he does what he does, and then that's when the shit snaps. And now he's going to be locked up.
Why should it go that far though? You know what I mean? Where it's like
they
we
just
have to
lose
hold
respect.
it back. You know?
No.
Yeah.
If you I feel like toxicity is, and I don't know if people will agree, but is something that you allow. Yeah. Because if I try to get into a relationship with someone and they're doing things that I don't like, but it, you know, I allow it to continue, and I don't put my boundaries, and you know, I
Standards.
don't. Yeah, and then we just lose respect, and then it's just an ongoing, just toxic environment. But if you were to end it, you know, and totally like, you know, just remove that person from your life, then it's over. And I feel like this relationship
was over.
They a long time ago, you know, and maybe it should have never even began, but you know, when you extend relationships past their expiration date, then bad shit's gonna happen, you know. That's not the one. Like, you guys are not compatible, and then, you know, you lose respect for each other, and then, you know, shit like that happens.
I actually agree with that, because I think toxicity is self-reflecting.
Yeah,
it's a
allow
reflection
people
of
to
yourself,
treat you how you
what you
them.
deserve.
Yeah,
you subconsciously think that's what you deserve.
that's your
that's
worth.
why you put up with it.
I think it's different
because you think that if you just cut it off, you don't think you'll find anything better. You either think you won't get the same or you'll get less.
I think the root of toxicity is like your mindset, you know, of what you believe that, you know, how your own worth. So if you are insecure, or, you know, all of these like negative things that you just, you know, you just shouldn't be in a relationship, you know. If,
there you go, that part.
And sometimes it's the wrong person that brings out like the worst in you.
That's fact.
And it's not even who you are at the core. It's just that one person. It's just, you know, you lose respect. One person does one thing, and like, for example, if she, let's say she hit him first, he didn't do anything, then she felt like, well, I can do this shit again, you know. And then it just becomes a thing, and then it's a thing, and then until you're in court airing your dirty laundry.
For all of us to laugh at, because this has been kind of funny.
Go ahead and play that clip real quick if the audio is on. We just really need to hear it. The video audio, you know, is something else. But go ahead and hit play.
From this heard said, "Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, a man. I'm a victim too of domestic violence."
I said yes.
Johnny Depp said he's a victim of domestic violence.
Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard is probably the topic that's the most requested on my channel.
Man, it's hard for me not to see Jack Sparrow right now.
Yeah, I know. It's like, he is Jack Sparrow.
I know. I can't unsee it.
She's still the room.
Keep going for me real quick, because there's some stuff in here that's really crazy.
Because there's a lot of things going on with it. The case is tied in so heavily with Depp and Amber's career, and it means a lot for the future of not only the DCEU.
I didn't even know who she was.
I didn't know that was her.
I remember she was in
Aquaman.
I couldn't finish that movie. It was too cheesy.
Yeah. She was also in a movie too. It was funny. I just found out about it, and I love that movie, Zombieland. She was the girl in the apartment that turned into a zombie. That kind of was like the neighbor or whatever. That was her. And then now people are making memes because he like had to knock her out with like the back of a toilet seat lid or something like that, and everybody just running with that now.
Leave it to
the internet.
Yeah, the sleuths, the internet.
So Amber Heard was in Aquaman as the main female character. Didn't know that at the time. Obviously, I like the movie.
I started watching it because obviously, like, come on, Aquaman, it's hot.
Right.
But it was just it was just too cheesy for me. I'm like, I can't sit through it.
Now this part right here, go ahead and hit play.
Hold on, real quick. You said Aquaman is hot. I got a question. You at the club, out of nowhere, manager tells you, "Hey, you about to VIP for someone huge." He comes in, sees you, and wants your number.
Temptation.
What do you do?
Isn't he married?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna shoot your shot? It's not tempting?
Okay, there's a difference.
Well, he already shot the shot. He wants the number.
I was gonna say, I would never shoot my shot and be like, "Hey, here's my number."
No, he should.
If he were to ask for it, yeah, I'd give it to him.
Okay.
Shoot your shot is not in the woman's vocabulary.
He gets your number, right? And he's like, all right, boom, takes his shirt off, pours the water all on his chest and everything.
At the club?
Yeah, at the club. And then he asks. And then he asks.
Kind of weird.
And then he asks.
He pours the Aquafina on himself.
He pours the Aquafina on himself. Just
you know the rules with that. You know the rules with that.
Because see, that would remind me of the movie, which I stopped watching because it was cheesy.
Okay.
So
and then he would have got kicked out by us.
You know, it would not have been
I'm
worth
like, bro,
it.
put your shirt on. Oh, I told you already.
Go ahead and play the rest of it, because this interesting part we talked about right here. This is his actual manager who's being asked, do you know of any roles that he was not casted in because of this incident? Let's see what he says.
We lost Fantastic Beasts.
that's a big one.
Yeah.
He said he lost the Pirates of the Caribbean 6 or 7, not sure. Now they're asking him why.
Oh, you don't want to lose that Disney money.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that it was related to the accusations that Amber has made. Amber this week to show that she's untrustworthy came over the
Wow. So basically, the accusation is the reason why he didn't get casted, is what he's saying. And now this is what makes her lose all credibility. It said that she had stole $7 million. Hold on, wait.
Of what she'd said she had. To make things worse, a lot of the money donated in her name wasn't actually donated by her, and it was given by Johnny Depp and also Elon Musk.
So now you're dragging Elon Musk's name into the dirt because he's over here donating money that you're supposedly offering to these hospitals as a charity
But I
work.
thought she got that $7 million from a previous, what you mentioned earlier. There was like a previous case that got settled, and he gave her $7 million, and she was like, okay, because I'm a victim of abuse, I'm gonna donate some money to whatever,
Right.
That
That
but
was
she
the prior
never
case.
did.
Yeah, it was so. When it comes to criminal cases, like, you guys got to understand the difference. And any of the listeners that are on, there's a difference between civil and criminal. There's a different type of evidence that has to be provided and has to be substantiated before you can be convicted. Like with criminal cases, it has to be without a reasonable doubt. So you have to provide the burden of proof is on the prosecution. So, but with a civil case, most cases get settled.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to the Kobe Bryant thing, like in Denver, he settled it. It's in his best interest to settle it.
You don't want the media involved, and
Regardless
then
if he's
more-
guilty or not.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't come. It's that's never really the point. And in the court language, settlement does not mean guilt. Now us as the court of public opinion, we
Seems
can
like he's an admission of guilt.
right.
in
We
a
can
way.
say that, but that's just an opinion. At the end of the day, you make a settlement. It's just both parties agreeing, hey, we're just agreeing to do this act to satisfy
move
this
on.
so we can move on.
Yeah.
That's all that is. With this situation, with a civil matter, that's what he ended up doing. That's the reason why he lost endorsements, movie deals, future movie deals, is because when he tried, it hurt him. That was the reason why everybody started jumping on I think the Amber Heard.
What if he's innocent?
No, but that's the point though. Everybody started jumping on her side when because he countersued. He made it worse for himself because he tried to sue the Sun for publishing what they said, just giving him that label. He lost that case. So now it's like, I'm telling you, like I follow film close, and a whole bunch of different platforms, podcasts, media outlets, they were talking about it. They were like, he's done. Like they were saying he's done. When you lose a case like that, because like I said, the evidence that would have had to been provided to allow the Sun, I think it's the Sun. I might, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe it's the Sun. For them to provide, for them to have the ability to use the term or that label, woman abuser, that's almost so damning that pretty much is saying you're gonna be guilty in this.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what everybody is being shocked of is her behavior.
Right.
It's
And her
coming
audio,
now
right?
is coming to the forefront.
Her audio?
Huh?
The audio of her saying no one's going to believe you?
Right. Like so now all that evidence in
And
a
then there
criminal
was the
ca-
makeup thing.
Yeah.
Did you see about the makeup
Yeah.
thing?
Was it-
She's like, oh, I used this like from these years to, hide my bruises and blah blah blah. But then Milani, which is
The security guard for Johnny
Yeah.
Depp.
no, the makeup brand.
Oh, Melania.
The makeup that Milani, so it's like a drugstore makeup, whatever. They or I don't know if they said it, but you know, the people that follow the case, they Googled it and they saw, well, this specific makeup compact that you're trying to say that this is exactly what she used wasn't even out yet. It wasn't even a thing until years after. That really hurt her, because it's like you're trying to say this is specifically what I use when lying. That's impossible. Yeah. It wasn't even a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why, bro. So when you said earlier, because you even were like, he's saying he's a victim. I mean, yeah, I feel like he is. I mean,
he is.
Well, he also talked about it too. That like they have the auto recording of him saying being punched, and she tried to say, "Well, I hit you." Like it's bad. It looks really bad for her right now. Yeah. I will say this. I'm not gonna say that that Johnny Depp is completely absolved of any responsibility. No. I'm not saying that. I will say Amber Heard is not looking as bright as if we perceived it to be before the trial started.
She thought it would be easier for her to get away with it.
Right. Well, hold on. And now he's gonna have a real good. This is the thing. I think at the end of the day, when this all comes through and this all comes to a head, he's gonna have a real good case. We talk about that Disney money. Disneyland. He's gonna have or Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers I think is the Harry Potter shit. I'm sorry, I ain't never not watched one movie.
It's dope.
I just haven't. But they got a lot of money.
Yeah,
they pay him a lot of money.
Right.
He gonna have a good case to countersue her for all those things lost, and that is not gonna be a criminal case. That's gonna be a civil case where he doesn't have to prove without a reasonable doubt. Right. It's gonna be a lot easier for him to win that. She gonna end up settling.
Yeah.
Real quick, what do you guys consider? Just asking all three of you, because we're talking about abuse with them, and I'm actually going through a court case right now, like literally for the same exact thing, and it's nuts because I actually relate to Johnny Depp. I'm like, bro, these women lying. Like, so real quick, like, what do you consider? Because when they told me, I was the biggest idiot in the world when it came to my mediation. Because when she said, did you abuse her? I said, based on what? Everything we listed. I said, yelling. Hold on. Yeah. The fuck? This ain't abuse. Like, to me, I was like, none of this shit's abuse. Like,
you've already lost.
This happens in every relationship. I told her straight up.
No, for sure.
I told her straight up. I said, yeah. I told her straight up. This is for white people. For black and Mexicans, like I'm telling you right now, ain't none of this abuse.
It's normal every day.
It's normal every day. Like you said, if she grabs my leg or she yells, we yell at each other. What are you talking about? Well, that's verbal abuse. I said, oh my God, no, that is not abuse. Are you serious, lady? And it was just like
this is what happens when you don't take my advice, Tony.
Hey, it worked out because she did the same shit.
So your question to ask is what's abuse?
What do you consider domestic violence?
Physical contact to the anger.
No, but it could be emotional.
Is domestic violence different than abuse and emotional?
I think verbal abuse is big too, though.
Well, it's verbal and emotional.
You just said it wasn't.
But I think if you're just nasty with it every day type shit, not like if it slips up, but if you're like every day,
you have to prove that though. It's a lot harder to prove that. You also have to get to the point like so for to ask your question. Yes, it could be substantiated to the point where the emotional abuse can be used in any type of court situation, or obviously in a mediation, because it's a little bit different in court with mediation. But if you can build up a continuous pattern. Right. That number one. Also, too, the one thing that can really do it is you filing the restraining orders, the police reports. If you have a record, a documented pattern of police reports of restraining orders, things like that, then just with emotional abuse, take the physical out of it. That can build enough. But when you don't have any of that, then it's kind of just. I'm telling you, like
they throw it out.
Like I told you, what did I tell you? The judges don't want to deal with that shit. They don't want to deal with that nonsense, that bickering back and forth. They want to deal with the tangible evidence. What is going on? Did he hit you? Okay, where's the police report on this? Where's the physical pictures of what happened? When were the pictures taken? Where's all? They're gonna ask all that, and if it doesn't come down to where it can be deemed as fact. They won't deal with it.
Another thing with that article that you said that Johnny Depp, it was basically defamation of characters. The pictures that Amber provided of her abuse when they posted it on whatever article, it was darker. They had photoshopped it, and it was significantly different. Yeah, they showed the comparison of the photo she sent. The photo she sent, I'm not saying there wasn't any abuse. I mean, it looked like dark circles, maybe a little bit more. But on the photo they posted on the front cover of whatever
she
article,
tried to add some extras.
I don't know if it was her or if it was the actual people behind the article, which is
darkening it.
Yeah,
they
making
put the lo-fi
it
filter.
Added some contrast to it or something.
Just adding a little bit of contrast.
That's interesting because because to what you're saying, now you're dealing with a perjury case. Because with perjury, you're now lying in court. Because when you stand, you got to take an oath.
Yeah.
And what you say is true and accurate and complete and all of that. So, man, this is...
It looked like she might have been hurt slightly, but they enhanced it.
Right.
You know?
My thing is this security guard, this security detail was like, hey, man, honestly, the times that I've seen her, she's never been, bruises, scratches. It wasn't an abuse to stay, but... Look at Johnny. It started off with small scratches, bruises, and he had a photo of him having a black eye. And I'm like, dang,
bro, I feel
it's almost like he's being lied on.
He was saying like, oh, she threw a Red Bull at him, and then threw this and that, and then that she came up out of nowhere and punched him. And
no offense, man.
Come on,
that pussy ain't that good.
I can't see Johnny. Come on,
bro.
Johnny
to get
Depp.
a Red Bull thrown at you, to get I'm done.
Right.
It's Johnny Depp.
You throw a Red Bull at me.
I
got a black eye.
Down to self-esteem or your own worth. Like I would be like, I'm motherfucking Johnny Depp. Like
I'm Jack Sparrow.
Bye.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't see him
make her walk
actually
the plank.
doing domestic abuse, punch of it. Johnny Depp would be like,
Shut.
But I think that's all. I think that's. And I'm being facetious about it. You know what I mean? Like I think that's our ignorance talking.
Right.
Because we look at celebrities as
that's Jack
above
Sparrow.
human
icons.
We almost look at them as so much superior.
You have so much money, so much fame. Like just brush it off, bro.
But they're emotional too, and they got feelings, and they dealing with a lot of this stuff, and they deal with the toxicity, at a different level. I think it's just they got more resources.
He still
at their
brings in
disposal.
acting though. Because when they said she was saying something like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know, he had cocaine and he had like a jar, and he goes, a jar.
No, I will not lie. He has been acting, and I'm not saying acting like he's being fake.
No,
but when he's been on the stand, I'm like,
he's
bro,
using his talents.
He is literally putting on a show.
Like they be like, hey, read this text message you sent here. He's like, okay, well, let me put my glasses on. Like.
His blue glasses.
Right here. Like you don't need them goddamn glasses. Take them shits off, Captain Jack Sparrow. Take them shits off, Captain.
It's
interesting. But I mean, I will say, like, I don't think they got married to end up here.
Damn.
To air all of their dirty laundry. Like,
right.
no, I really believe that no man really wants to be portrayed to the world like being emasculated and beat by.
We want peace.
Mm-hmm.
Men, we want peace.
So at the end of the day, it just sucks for the both of them that it even lasted this long, or that they even crossed paths. I mean, shit, like that sucks.
Very true. Earlier, you talked about toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Now, this sounds like a motherfucking toxic ass relationship, and it sucks because it's gonna hurt many people. For one, me, who's a big DC fan, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna see Amber Heard in another Aquaman movie. That's one. Two,
that's well forgotten.
Right.
That's fine.
Two, I'm not gonna be able to see.
I'm not gonna miss her.
I'm not gonna be able to see my boy Jack and Cap, steering his ship out in the seas. You know what I mean?
I'm even indifferent about Jason Momoa and Aquaman. Let alone her.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're bridging a lot of superheroes that people normally don't look at in that limelight. Like Aquaman, no one knows him as a superhero like that.
But that's Aquaman.
Yeah.
This is Aquaman's side piece.
My son has a little Aquaman little action figure, and technically to my son, Aquaman is an enemy.
Is it the real Aquaman or is it Jason Momoa?
The old school one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The blonde one. The Mormon one.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Yeah,
he said the Mormon.
He Mormon as hell.
Yeah.
Shit. Seen him.
But
shit.
When we're talking about toxic relationships, we're going to switch it back, and I apologize. We're going to go back to this VIP scene, but you're a VIP scene, have you had any toxic relationships in your past, especially with you, meeting people out in this industry? Have you had any toxic relationships?
Yeah, I feel like, I've had the toxic romantic relationships, the toxic friendships, toxic work environments. You know, it's. I feel like because of those relationships, I feel like it's helped me spot the red flags. You know,
early.
So it sucks that I wasn't in those at those times and those moments in time of my life. But I mean, now, like, I'm literally, like, I'll meet someone, and if I notice something, I keep my circle really small. So I've always been, like, quality over quantity. So I don't like to spend my days, like, having anxiety about, you know, friendships and relationships. I just let shit roll. But I've learned a lot from them. I mean, you know, I don't really necessarily regret. Like, you sit there and think back on these moments, and you're like,
you learn.
Damn, this shit lasted way longer than it should have, you know? But like I said, it's all about your own worth. Like, now there's no way in hell I'll ever be in another one.
So you already came to that realization.
Yeah, you know, I mean, who hasn't had a toxic relationship? Like, we've all been young and dumb before.
Like, we have those situations. We have those situations where it's, you know, I'm still in Tyler Perry's quote on this. Some people you're just supposed to have for a season.
Oh yeah, they definitely came with expiration dates.
A lot of people be like, "Man, okay, man, that's all 4 of them.
All 4 seasons.
That's about three seasons over. You should have got up out of there."
And that's when it becomes like, obviously you don't get into a relationship being toxic. Obviously you have your little honeymoon phase or whatever,
it all leads up to it.
But it's when you pass the expiration date where it should have been over, that's when it's like
But there was a lot of red flags that were ignored along the way, though.
Speaking about the red flags.
In those situations,
because
like,
you were young.
Yeah.
But now I'm sure you're able to spot them.
You said
some people spot them, they just choose to ignore them.
What red flags?
How do you spot them though? Like that's my question. You said you notice certain traits in certain people when they're toxic. Like what's a toxic trait? Like this fool chews ice with his mouth open, or
no, it's just being
ice
picky.
with the mouth open.
You know,
that's just being picky. That's not toxic.
Yeah.
That's just
so what's a toxic
annoying.
trait? What's a toxic trait?
Like gaslighting.
Nah, man, you just took the
Real
words
quick,
right out
so-
my mouth.
Okay, explain the gaslighting.
So when I think I experienced this a lot. Like, well, I'll bring something up calmly, and then make a big deal. Like, no, like you're the crazy one. I'm like, okay,
Trying to make you seem like
I'm
gaslighting.
like I'm the one who's crazy to think these things, but in reality, it's true. You know, trying to put the blame on me for thinking that way, but it's fucking true.
Another question: are you a horoscoper?
Wait, that didn't even sound right. Are you a horoscoper?
No, into astrology is what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's a better way to put it.
into astrology.
Yeah.
People that look in the horoscope. The reason why I say is because when we work security, you know how many girls come up to us, what's your
sign?
What's your fucking sign?
No, you know what? I don't believe. Okay, so I'm technically a Leo, and I do believe that I'm a true Leo. I'm a fire sign. You know, I'm a lion. Like I speak my truth, and I am who I am, right? But the thing that makes me not believe in that shit is my brother's a Leo as well, and he's a total opposite of me. So if I were to read a horoscope, today, Leo, your day is this. There's no way in hell my brother and I are going to have the same day.
What's his moon, though? I heard
bro,
that matters,
get
too.
the fuck out of here.
well,
You went too far with that shit.
I'm telling you, this is what they talk about. I don't know.
I will say this, and
They talk
I know,
about it.
I know we're on
moon?
the topic of
Moon and
toxic
Because it means
relationships
you're
and
opposite of
stuff.
those types of you and that.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm gonna segue onto this. That needs to stop.
Yeah, because you're being...
Do not start a You want to talk about a red flag?
Right,
Let's talk about a
Yeah,
red flag.
You know what? I agree.
If you bring up what my
Horoscopes.
sign is, and that's your start of the conversation, get out the hell out of my
Get the
face.
fuck outta here.
What do you say?
I
Get to the back of the line.
Back of the line. Get to the
No,
back of the line.
seriously,
I don't wanna
because
hear
I feel
that
like
shit.
I just, to me, I think it's small. I think that's the word that
they're
is
judging
no effort.
you before knowing you.
Yeah, I get all this, like they say
And
you're
that's not fair.
Aquarius. Because I'm an Aquarius, and they be like, oh well, yeah, you.
What do they
you're
say
alpha.
about
Well,
Aquarius?
they say alpha 1.
Oh, you
They
are,
basi-
though.
But regardless, but there's a stigma behind that. They say, oh, that's a person that's truly independent. They kind of move to their own beat.
Okay.
That type of thing. And some of those qualities may be true.
Yeah.
But why does that disqualify me in your eyes in that sense? And I'm not saying that like I even want to be qualified for whatever criteria you got. But I just look at it as just, it's a way to try to I think pigeonhole people into categories. Yeah. And so you're basically based on my astrological sign, that's how you're gonna treat me. Like that's how I look at it. Like,
I don't think that's fair. And I find it kind of weird.
It's almost like discriminating motherfuckers based on your sign.
Red flag.
We don't want to be judged by what we look like or our skin tone. So why am I being judged by the day I was born?
Where's the camera?
I didn't decide that either.
I didn't decide that.
Where's the camera at?
Which camera?
I'm gonna say this right now.
Which one?
Stop asking people about their astrological sign.
Stand
I'm gonna tell you right now.
So
stop
stupid.
doing that. Stop doing that. After you've been dating them for 2 years, or you're in a relationship, fine, whatever. Start talking about it, but don't mention that in the first couple dates or
I truly don't think
first
that
meetups.
matters.
I think it's dumb.
It's the basic
I think it's just. I think it's overrated.
I think we're the only 5 people.
I think I see it because I hear it all the time.
A lot of people like, oh, what's yours? Oh, I get along. I'm like, I get along with whoever the fuck is like real, and
Facts.
I genuinely, just because you're one thing doesn't mean I'm gonna like fuck with you automatically. It goes both ways. Just because you're one thing, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to fuck with you, and just because you're this sign doesn't mean that I'm gonna be your friend. Like, no, it's all about character.
Right.
So
okay. Well, let's talk about the character part. Obviously we work together at that one location, Mish Murdy. Right.
Start speaking that Teletubby again, man.
And
what's the name of it one more time?
Mish Murdy. Mish Murdy. And obviously,
you might as well just say
I know that you were in a relationship with someone that also worked there. Okay, we don't need to say any names. There's a bunch of like NFL players that people can think about, NBA players, or there could be specific, punters that people like.
He said punters.
You like me? I'm
So
sorry.
what's the
I'm
question?
sorry.
What's the
Okay,
question?
all right. That was a little ring
She
around.
said, cut to it.
Yeah.
All right. Love in the club. It's a question I've asked before. Can you find it, and is it sustainable?
It all depends on your personality. If you are like a party person and you love to be social and you love to be out every weekend, and you find someone that is on that same wavelength, then maybe. But is it going to last? I don't know, because most people transition out of that. Personally, for me, I feel like I would be open to finding love at the club if I'm there for, like, let's say I'm there for a birthday, right? I'm there for a specific celebration, and it's like a one-time thing, once every few months or weeks, and he's there for like a bachelor party, and we're both there at the same place at the same time, but we're never really at the club all the time, then maybe. But if I were to meet someone that's at the club all the fucking time, to me personally, I don't like that. So I'm just not really vibing with that. Like, I'm about just different shit now.
But
I got a quick. You can find a fling in a club.
How you gonna know that initially, though?
Well, speaking. Let's say I'm in a booth here and you're in a booth there. We make eye contact. We're kind of flirty, and then we start to speak, and it's like, oh, I'm here for my boy's birthday or whatever, and I'm there. Also, like, just out of the blue, not out of the blue, but like just sporadically. It's not what I do every weekend. Then maybe, because we're both kind of on the same page.
But that could be a game, though.
About the club, but just at the same place at the same time. I wouldn't go to the club to find love, but it could happen if it's.
I'm gonna give it a quick answer.
Don't give it hope.
No, I'm gonna give it a quick answer.
Go ahead. No.
But and the reason why
I don't want to shut it off completely, though, because
she found love in the club.
So, I'm gonna say this.
I didn't. It was before.
But what I'll say this. I'll say this. And what I'm referencing to is sustainability. That's to me what success is. So, the answer is no. And the reason why I'm giving this answer. I'm giving this answer because if this was the advice I was giving my son, if I was giving my daughter,
see, but that's
if I was
different.
giving a friend, no, but if they were asking me where could you find someone, like if I was looking to meet someone, I wanted a relationship.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go to the club to meet someone. I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna go to the club tonight because I want to find a man. That's not the energy, you know?
Okay.
It's like I'm there.
Break
That's
it
why I
down.
said, like, that's why I'm there with my friends because I'm kind of dragged there because it's a birthday or something that I.
But I think what you're saying is smart. The problem is that most people don't go to the club having that mindset. They actually go to the club thinking they about to find the one.
They're trying to
going to the club thinking
tonight.
that you're going to find the one at the club.
Tonight.
Yeah, that's a no.
And or just even sustain. Like I don't see it happening, and we got the best vantage point because we see it. Number one, this is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
You're already in a place of impairment.
Yeah.
That's not your best self.
Mm-mm.
So that's number one. So you're
You
all
got the beer goggles on.
Yeah, you're already operating from outside of what you normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Your morals, your integrity, your character, all those type of things. Because in those environments, you're basically just trying to facilitate what the environment is enhancing.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically just trying to, okay, how can I put my best self out there where I'm the best attractive? Period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that that's a viable environment to find any type of relationship for. I just don't.
Agree.
Yeah.
And
yeah, in general, if you don't want to get technical, yeah, no.
yeah, I just
Well,
now you said that find love in the club. Yeah, you can make love in the club, which
yeah.
Like Usher.
like
Speak on it.
Like us.
Speak on it.
we've had to deal with.
Speak on it.
But yeah, to find actual love and I don't want to get anecdotal with it. Man, don't nobody be coming at me with the shit. Oh, I know my man 10 years. We've been married for 8.
But is it toxic?
And then we fucking we met in the club and all this shit. Miss me with all the anecdotal type shit. I don't want to hear that. That's 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million. I would never give that advice to anybody.
Exception.
Yeah, it's exceptions to everything, and that just deals with people.
Could happen, but I wouldn't go with that mindset of like,
It's
I'm
happened.
gonna find someone.
It's happened.
No.
Right, and
Well,
to
personally,
your point,
when
though.
I go to the
Hi,
club,
Mom.
I go with the people that I want to
Steve
hang out
Mom?
with the rest of the night. You
It's
know.
happened. I'm 1 in 1,000.
yeah, no,
He's found love in the club.
I'm not gonna say it was a club, but we found it in the in the house parties. Because back when I was growing up, it was a house party.
House party.
We
Wait,
need
how
to
old
get
were
back
you?
to that. It was like 2021. It was
you
2021.
see, you were young, man.
Yeah,
you were young, and house
Hold on,
party
he
don't
said
count
2021.
as club.
2021 as in like last
what
year?
you talking about,
Or were you
2021?
No, like when I was 20, turning 21. I used to throw.
Oh, bro,
I
like
used to
come
throw
on now.
fat ass parties. We was all underage.
That's a
and I was
like
post-COVID
last
year. You
year.
gotta.
I was like, oh,
Jesus Christ.
I was 20.
That's
20
some
I was
shit we don't
turning
know about.
21. Anyways, whatever. We're getting ready to wrap up. This thing's getting ready to wind down here. But there was one more question that I did have for you, and it's more so about the VIP scene.
Nigga, we have more questions out there. What are you
I know,
Bro,
but we on it.
you can keep it going.
I know where we at.
Audience, ignore what he just said.
Nah.
You can go home. We stay here. Really.
My question would be to you: is this?
We're not done.
What are some things that you really hate? You know what I mean? Like you're in that life where you're giving energy. You're the life of the party. And then what is it that makes you have a bad day? Like what is it? Like I understand some people may not tip you well, but what would really
Besides the tips, I want to exclude that because a lot of people go to the money,
right?
And we would go to the money. You would go to the money.
Aside from
A bartender would go to the money. Besides the money, what's a turn off?
People who are fucking rude.
Mm.
Just
Define
it's just
rude.
Rude. It's like
Privileged.
there's
or
a way.
rude?
No, just fucking rude. Like there's a way to ask for things.
This is
right?
my wheelhouse. Go deeper.
There's a way to ask for things. Like if, and I just find it funny because it'll never be the person paying that's rude.
Man, I hate those.
Hey.
Why are they even talking?
They're
She
nice
just
as
spoke
hell.
facts.
Why are they
No.
even talking?
They're nice. They're and super low maintenance. I come up to the guy or girl, whatever that's paying, ask for what they want. Oh yeah,
Facts.
whatever. It'll be their little minions and clout chasers that come with them that are not paying, that are so picky and rude. And I'm just like, why? And I just don't like that, like, ever. Like, if I were to go on a date and the guy that I'm with is rude to the waitress or waiter or whatever, I'm out. Like, I won't talk to you again. Like, why? Like, it's just common courtesy. Like, shit, I don't know if you went to kindergarten or not, but, like, the golden rule, like, treat people the way you want to be treated. But, like, why are you being, like, rude? Like, technically you need me to bring you the shit that you're asking for. Right. But there's a way of asking for things that, you know, it comes off. Just don't be rude.
What you just said, a lot of bottle service girls say. Like, literally, they're like, this person is yelling at me, saying this, that he's not even the one paying. You literally said that. That's crazy.
Like, you technically are a scrub. Right. You're not even paying. You're here with your homies' money, and you want to be, you know.
So don't be that person.
No, be nice. I mean, be grateful that you have a friend that has money and you don't.
Yep,
that part. Get your little minion ass to the back.
You better enjoy that fucking free drink.
For real.
Exactly. And you want to get all rude.
Cats do not know.
Have you ever had anything crazy? Like, I've seen some crazy stuff that I thought would just happen in the movies, where I would literally see a guy, and it's usually like an older gentleman. I don't know why they do this shit. They'll be like, they'll drop something, be like, pick it up for me. Like, you guys, something like that happen?
Some fucking
like,
creep shit.
Right.
You had that happen?
Yeah, we've seen it like a few times at a venue that we were working at. I couldn't believe it. Like, is this happening?
Right.
Like, I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
I would never fall for that shit. I'd probably kick the cup. I'm like,
that's what she did. Yeah, the girl did. She actually did. She's like, and then she flipped him off, and it was funny. Yeah, but it's crazy. Man, people do that.
Didn't Nick Cardone have a name for people that just be in the booth?
F-tap. No. It's F-tap is face, titties, ass, personality. F-tap. That my guy, Nick Cardona, man, my fucking guy. Nick Cardona, man, my fucking guy.
But
what you talking about? It wasn't that.
He did talk about that, like the dudes that just be in the booth, not paying and stuff like that. And I get it, and we're gonna put it to the side. If this is like the homies. Like, I understand somebody may pay. They may have, shot them this side of the money later on or whatever.
I don't care. So, it just that has nothing to do with how you talk to people.
But to that point, to the rudeness side, man, we deal with. I'm at the front.
Right. Oh God.
Y'all know how I am.
Just thinking about it.
I push the brick wall up.
Yeah.
I'll act like your ass ain't there. I hate that shit.
Girls be coming up saying, "Why don't you smile?"
When you being loud, you being obnoxious. It's just more bricks. I'm putting up.
I seen it one time because he was out in the front, and I'm somewhat out in the front. He was doing the main stuff out front, and then there was this girl who was like, excuse me, you're gonna answer my questions, and he wasn't saying anything. In my mind, I was like, oh, this nigga probably just don't hear her. And I went over there.
Oh no, I heard it.
I went over there. And I'm like, how can we help? I'm here. Let me take care of you. I got you. And he's like, well, this motherfucker over here. And I was like, okay, let me go back inside. And, I understand why you ain't being talked to right now. You over here tripping. Get to the back of the line with all that bullshit.
Chanel
West Coast. Nobody trying to hear all that.
Nobody trying to hear that
Chanel
shit.
West Coast.
Man, for real.
I would have loved to be that. I would have loved to be that security guard that denied Chanel West Coast.
And he was cool. Club. He was cool. He was like, yep, that's why you mad. Bye. For real.
Rob will tell you move or you will be moved.
Right.
I don't
know. I would just never. That shit is embarrassing. And then obviously, if you're in line and you're waiting, there's a crowd. So why would you want to be turned down in front of a crowd? That's embarrassing.
That's why they act up. Well, let's ask
a name question. Drop after that.
Obviously, Tony had tried to allude to it about someone dropping a cup and someone asking you to bend over. But do you have any crazy stories like that? Anything crazy that you can remember?
What's the funniest or craziest story that experienced as a ball server? And it don't necessarily had to happen to you. It's something you maybe witnessed, somebody else experienced, but you were kind of indirectly affected.
Well, it was funny seeing people that were talking to people, and then they all their girls piled up. They were at the same place at the same time, watching.
This nigga here, I already know. Look at him.
Every night was funny because
that was a shot.
That nigga went to the next club.
Easy, my guy. Easy.
So watching all of that unfold, just basically people watching in general was just funny because you're standing there, you're sober, and you're just kind of a fly on the wall, and you're seeing things unfold, and. Obviously, it's so loud in there, we can't hear, but I can read body language, and I'm like, yeah, she's not into it, and he's still, spitting game, he's not leaving her alone, and she's just like, trying to talk to her friends. You know, it's funny to watch all that. But as far as guys being like out of pocket, that would happen for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like guys knowing that I'm like, you know, in a relationship or whatever at the time, and they'd just be like, I don't give a fuck.
They still shooting their shot, huh?
Oh yeah.
Legit, like no, legit, like
man.
How do you handle it?
to my face. I just leave. I just walk away.
That's what she's solid. She's solid one.
Yeah.
She's solid.
Why would I entertain that? I'm just incriminating myself. I don't like being in the doghouse. You know,
Right.
I'm not one to be in there and
You talked
like
about
it.
standards earlier, yeah.
That's what's up.
How often do they shoot their shot? On an average,
I mean,
let's say daily. Daily's a good number.
daily.
Yeah.
They get dailies every
Well,
day.
you should
I'm
say-
assuming it happens daily.
Oh, you got
I'm
no,
assuming.
not daily shifts.
Okay, well, yeah,
Shifts.
but I mean,
Shifts.
yeah, okay, that's
So
what I mean.
Your work shift,
So
you probably
how
work
often?
two nights a week, most
Yeah.
likely. Shoot the shot, and there's more questions to that, but
Oh yeah,
So-
definitely.
There was always someone that would like kind of try, but like, I guess it just depends on the level of intensity, right? There's a respectful like, you know, are you single? And then if I say yes or no, and then they respect it, you know, then that's that. I don't mind that. I don't mind people asking questions, but as long as, you know, if they follow with like respect, like
Yeah.
okay. But you know, every once in a while there were people that just like didn't give a fuck, and they thought that, you know, they could get away with.
Like, I don't care. Shit.
Yeah, like I don't care.
I don't care. You ain't got no ring on your finger.
I know, right? Yeah, that's literally what they say.
Okay. Co-workers or employees who shot their shot the most?
we've had.
I think I already
just
know
we
that
want to
one.
put this out there. We asked this. We had a bottle server on
Episode 10.
What episode was
Episode 10. Brandy.
Brandy,
Shout out to my girl,
We
Brandy.
asked her the same question, just in general.
Both.
What
Both?
is
Same
who
amount.
shoots the shot more? Co-workers, clients.
I think in the beginning when you're new, you know, they don't know you. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna try.
Oh, that's
Coworkers.
Yeah.
like chum in the.
And
God,
then
water,
you know
damn.
you see them every
They be on
weekend, and
it.
then you just kind of become family. When you're new, it's like ooh, fresh meat.
Right.
You know, just with
Yes.
everything. Like we don't know anything about her. She's new. She's cute. Like first time
Who's gonna
seeing
get her
her.
first?
Yeah. So in the beginning, it's and then after that, you know, once you kind of like they know that okay, it's never gonna happen. Then it's, you know.
So I got a question.
Customers.
Yeah.
So when you're in a relationship, and let's say you got like a celebrity in the club trying to shoot a shot, how you deal with that?
Ooh, celebrity,
Jason Momoa,
huh?
she did. She
Celebrity,
talked
huh?
about that.
That was a hypothetical.
That's his is hypothetical.
I don't like to be like one of many. So I just kind of like play along with it. You know, obviously I'm not going to, you know, get crazy on a celebrity, and I know, you know, trying to get my money
You don't
still.
want TMZ to record something
So
crazy.
you'll
No,
entertain
like
it?
like
kind of flirt it.
yeah, not entertain it to the point where it's like I give you like my whole background, but I'm like, okay, you know, brush it off type thing.
Okay.
You know?
Respect that.
Yeah. You have to kind of play the game a little bit so you don't. I mean, no one wants like a prude for a
Facts.
bottle girl.
Facts,
You know,
yeah.
same with like them being like, oh, you know, you come in, you bring the bottles, all this stuff. They ask you for, you know, do you want to take a shot? You don't want to say no and kind of like seem lame, you know. So you just kind of like go along with it without really giving them answers.
That's
so
a-
you
that's
have
a-
to.
Okay.
It's a little
fucks
game.
with
That's a
You have
fine.
to, like
That's
a
a
run
fine
around.
line.
Yeah.
That's a fine
So
line.
you just kind of
because-
smile and just, you know.
She a pro.
No,
and
but
then you
She a
leave.
pro.
Yeah,
She
you
a
leave. Like,
pro.
oh, do you need any more cups or any? Oh, okay.
But that's a fine line though, because it gets to that point, and men obviously can misinterpret.
Yeah.
Because your job is to keep the energy up,
Yeah.
not just
obviously-
on pouring the drinks and stuff like that. So a lot of times those lines can get blurred. They kind of think that, oh, maybe she's into me. Nigga, she just pouring that drink.
This is my job.
She trying to get that tip, nigga.
So I'm not that tip though.
She trying to get that.
Damn! Shit.
Tip of this.
I wasn't even
Let's
thinking
make,
about
let's
that.
make it clear. Let's
fuck that
make
come
it
from?
I'm
clear.
trying to get that smooth
Let me be
handshake tip.
Nah, I'm trying
That
to
one with the president. That's the one she's looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's
fellas,
what's
That's what's
understand that.
So
Yeah.
let me
No one wants to get hit on while they're working. To be honest.
So like that.
I mean, I don't.
I think a lot of people like to, because people, before I started going to clubs, you know what I mean? I'd be like, fuck, I don't want to get the girls. I want to get the bottle service girls. A lot of guys think that way. That they want to get the bottle service girl. I mean, how should they?
Don't.
Just don't do it? Damn,
it's like when guys.
I like the straight answer.
Right out of the
No,
gate.
give it the straight answer.
No, that's good.
Now, she gave the straight answer, now expand.
No, like, just don't. Because it's like, let's say you go to a strip club, right? And you leave and you're like, oh, bro, she was all over me, blah, blah, blah. That's her job.
That's her job.
That's
Okay.
facts, bro.
Okay, she's just
That's
being
facts.
nice.
Yeah.
She's just
Yep.
being
That's
nice.
her job.
Facts.
Like, so if I'm coming up to you and, talking to you, it's like, I just want to see if you like need anything. I'm doing my job. It's not that I like want anything else other
Some
than
extra tips. Yep.
yeah,
That's your tips. Now I can't even fucking listen to that word the same way. God damn it.
That was,
Sorry,
that was a good catch,
I'm
though.
sorry.
Thank you.
I had to make that clear.
That was,
'Cause I wasn't even thinking about it. She was like, the other tip. I'm like,
I was talking about the
shit.
smooth handshakes.
Let me get the tip in. Just a tip. Anyways, let me go ahead and try to
Make
wrap
sure you
this up.
tip your bottle service
Oh, for
girl
real.
out there,
Yeah,
man.
Actually, that
Don't do that on the
bring-
comp booth. I need to say this because
Yeah.
we
Okay.
Let's
work-
talk about
we
comp
all
booths.
work together.
Let's talk about comp
We
booths.
have to bring this up. I
No,
know this
hold on,
isn't.
wait. Before you get into comp booths, though, it's leading to the question. The last question I want to ask is like,
Go ahead.
in your experience, what makes someone be remembered? Meaning, like, we buy a bottle. How do you spot that person the next time? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that keeps bottle poppers going, and what gets them known? Like how do you remember? Oh, he popped bottles with me last week.
The
I remember
receipts,
him.
nigga.
I get you on that.
That receipt say 30,000.
Because-
That's
Nigga said
going.
the receipts.
What was your question? You was going to ask what? What was your question?
Well, I was going to ask more of what
Comp bottles.
at the spot that we used to work at, which is
Mish Murdy.
comp boost was a thing.
It was a super thing. I was in that bitch comped up every goddamn week, man.
So I look at it from you getting a comp booth. So obviously you're not having to pay. You're basically just paying the sales tax.
It's a
The
$40
tax
bottle.
at the California tax, whatever rate that is, $40 at the end of the day. Inflation right now is probably $50.
Gratuity added.
So at what point do you feel that the experience that you're providing has to match that amount?
So
Does
That's a good
that
question.
waver?
That's a
So
good-
if someone
does.
has I want to keep it. We want the real answer because I feel like a lot of times we don't get that real answer. And I
no,
think
it matters because I feel like if on paper you ask for a comp booth, that means you're not even thinking about spending money. So you're going to come in and ask for basically free shit.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, so I'm gonna focus on the people that are actually spending money.
Sheesh.
I'll still come up to you. I'll still provide whatever it is that you need and bring you cups and stuff. But if it's packed, I'm gonna focus on the people that are actually paying $400 or $500 plus for the experience.
I feel like
because
that's
a lot of people that get the comp bottles are just because like, oh, we want to check it out. Aside from being cheap, they might even leave. They just drink the bottle and leave.
right.
So if you're not going to like further commit from the jump to like pay, then I'm going to spend my time. I mean, I can only be in so many places at once.
People's expectations are insane.
Yeah, always.
Right.
Yeah.
And we dealt with this. You got a comp booth, and I'm not looking down on you. I'm not.
You can work at that venue and get a comp.
But they expect you to bring, and not just you, the bartender, the security, everybody that's there working. They expect just this A1 first class service. And I'm not faulting you for wanting that. There's a difference between the want and the expectation. But to expect that, and then so when you don't get it, they're mad. And I'm like, dude, you just paid $44.86 for this bottle, and you damn near paid what you would have paid for the bottle if you would have got it at fucking Bel Air.
And got 10 people in the club
Like
for free.
you basically paid that price. but your expectation of everybody that's working is this astronomical expectation, and I feel like it's so unrealistic. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the rudeness comes in. That's where the attitude comes in.
Well, they're sitting in booths that people typically pay for, you know? Right. So it's still technically VIP. You just don't got the VIP money.
So let me ask this question, because I know I was popping comp bottles all day. Don't get me wrong. I was popping comp bottles all day, baby. All right. I had to hook up. My boy was the host. Hey, you need a comp? Got you.
Comp bottle poppy?
So, hey, man, give me the comp. But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, change that IG tag. Hey, when I do the edit,
yeah,
you best believe I'm putting that in.
Comp bottle, okay.
You
whatever.
best believe
that in. I'm not even mad.
Hey, I'll take it.
Let me make sure that's in the
that's
in the edit.
That's where it started, though. It started with me popping comp bottles every week in order for me to start really popping regular bottles. I'd get a comp, I'd waste it, and I'd go buy another bottle. You know what I mean? It's just,
or even if you don't,
so
like
different.
the bare minimum, even if you just get one bottle, right, is that comp. The bare minimum is what, the 40?
Right. How much should we pay? Be real.
Well, some people think if you're just gonna pay me the 40, then that's what I'm saying. That's as much attention as I'm gonna give you. Mm-hmm. But then there will be people that get the comp and then they'll tip more than what they should. Then that's different.
I would pay $80 on a comp bottle.
See, there you go.
Are you happy or are you mad about that?
I'm not mad.
All right.
Especially if you're not needy.
Right, and I wasn't.
And so, I want to speak to that, because that's a little inner dynamics, because we deal with that a lot of times too, and it's not always someone that's particularly doing a comp bottle, and that's identifies who their character is. Mm-hmm. You spoke to it. Yeah. Rudeness, attitude.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where I've had somebody in a comp bottle, no problems.
Yeah, no problems. Issues. Super low maintenance. Yeah. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah. And I think that's why I want to say, I don't want to say like, oh, you got a comp bottle. There's a certain stigma that comes with that, but there is a overlaying, I guess you would say, universal idea with this whole thing with nightlife, and we deal with it on a daily basis, or at least on a shift basis.
Yeah,
you can't be treating us like it's something to step on, and we deal with that often. Mm-hmm. Just as security, bartenders, barbacks, bottle service girls, hostess, everybody in this industry, promoters, a lot of us all deal with it on different levels. Mm-hmm. It's almost like it's looked at as a situation where we are just people to step on. So a means to an end. It's we're part of the experience. We're not actually human beings. Mm-hmm. We're actually, it's almost like they disassociate ourselves. They actually think we belong to this place.
Yeah, and I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, no,
this nigga brought me back soda, nigga. Yeah, I want some alcohol in this bitch. You gonna bring me back soda?
That was the last of it.
You cut me off?
He cut you off.
You cut me off?
That was the last of it.
Speaking about cutting off, we're giving free boosts and they're barely tipping. When's the cutoff of service? Bro, I'm fucking with you.
When you're like sloppy, and I just don't really condone that, because I don't want to be responsible for the horrible decisions they make.
Don't give us a PC answer. You over here trying to be nice and stuff. You trying to give us the
and I say it this way because look, boom, you get a comp booth, you're in the building, right? And then for whatever random reason, it starts popping in the bitch. And you got people who are really willing to spend like, hey man, I got a rack right now. Let me get a few bottles.
We
got
replace them.
Yeah. Take them out, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you have a comp booth. It's yours for the rest of the night if it's slow, but if somebody comes and like, hey, we want a booth, take them out.
Oh, I've been there firsthand.
So in that aspect, it's a good. All right, and that's why I say I've been there too. What do I have to do to keep my booth at a comp?
Buy another bottle.
And one more. Even though this guy's over here like, bro, I got 500. I got a band for a booth right now, and you're like, you know what, you guys, I'm sorry, your comp booth is up. Your bottle's gone. We need it for
politics. There's politics.
No, I'm sure there's another another booth that you could replace. It's at the end of the day, it's kind of like a bidding war with everything. If you're willing to pay, then we'll find a way to get you in there.
Are you listening? Warren, what camera you got me on? That one? This one? Where am I at?
Right there.
I'm right here? Where?
Over.
Right here?
Right there, right
Are
there.
you listening? We are trying to give you keys to what it takes for you to be out in the nightlife each and every week. Even if you get a comp, you still being hooked up.
Yeah.
You still looking like a boss. You still get a bottle. You still get a light show. Come on home. You get the light show. And you in that bitch with 10 of your friends. But if you in there with a comp booth, one bottle, and you really think you're out there popping bottles, it's time for you to realize that that's one bottle. Maybe I need to add another one onto it. And rather it be you get your 10 friends that you brought in here that you was like, boo, I got y'all. Be like, hey, man, it's time to kick in like $30. We need $30 from 10 people. We need to go ahead and get another bottle. 10 people, $30, that's $300. You got a bottle of Henny now coming out this bitch. Start strategizing when you go out with your friends. You take your friends out. You have a good time. They're out there with you now. We out here turning up. We having a good time. How do you keep that party going?
But why?
That's what people don't realize. They see the price and they're like, oh my God, like $400 or $300. I'm like, but collectively as a whole, you guys are spending that amount or more.
10 people in here.
For sure, yeah.
But I think that the biggest part of that is, I spoke about the illusion. Why are they going to spend in this case? If you really don't have it, why are they going to spend the money when it's only a photo op to begin with? That's kind of where we're at right now. A lot of people just, and this is not everybody, but this is something we often see. It's just a photo op. A lot of people go out just to get a photo op in general.
My
they just like
nigga.
It's like pre-planned. It's like, you know what? I want to have a good photo for the gram. I want a good photo for TikTok or whatever social media platform you on. And they pre-plan like, oh, I'm gonna get this bottle and I'm gonna make it seem, I'm gonna basically create the illusion that this is what I'm doing.
That clout.
And it's really gotten out of hand. Cause I know a few people that be saying, "Oh man, I'm a real bottle popper." I be looking at them.
Like, bitch, it's a comp.
I be looking at them. I be looking at them.
Smirnoff.
I'm like, bro,
Smirnoff at the club, you know,
right?
that's a comp.
I'm like, bro, you act like I don't see the receipts.
Yeah.
The receipts tell you everything.
Oh shit.
I'm like, dude, I see the receipt. That shit said $23.86.
Facts.
Like,
man, you ain't popping no goddamn bottles,
bro.
But like,
well, you know, maybe popping bottles isn't for everyone, but there are some clout chasers out there that will try to make it seem like, you know.
Nah, you can tell who.
And it's usually them who are like the most rude. It'd be like the girls, you know, the girls that come with the guys that are gonna pay or whatever, and it's just like, just have fun.
Well, go ahead.
It's just a real quick question. Is there any indifference when it comes to, so someone gets a booth versus, let's say, a group of girls or a group of guys? Like, do you feel differently about one or the other in terms of like how they are? Like, I know it's kind of a weird question, but I'm just meaning like if it's guys, typically, you know, they're trying to kind of hit on you, be all over you, this and that. If it's girls, they're kind
no, you'd be surprised. Girls will try to hit on you too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
and it's, they get away with more shit, to be honest, because you're like, oh, they're just, you know, just from a young age, you see little girls, they hold hands. There's nothing wrong with them being like, you know, affectionate. It's just like kind of in their nature.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's the girls that get a little bit more touchy-feely, and you just kind of have to brush it off because it's, you know, they're just being friendly or whatever.
Why is it okay for a girl to grab another girl's boob, but I can't? All right, we won't get into that. That's a different topic right there. All right,
we won't talk about that. One thing I do want to say, because, you know, us as security, I do want to bring this up. Details though on this. Specifics. Best and worst experience working with nightlife security.
Best would be that you guys would help me with the signs and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're talking about when I was getting a little wild.
Yeah,
I had fun.
Yeah, so sometimes we had booths, you know, and it'd be a birthday, and you know they wanted the whole like show, and I would have him and whoever else wanted to help.
It was me.
You.
I'm sorry, I missed I miss dancing with you and Mahogany. Just shout out to Mahogany. Just fucking.
I hated doing that shit.
You hated it?
I hated doing that shit.
I was in that shit.
I was off that shit, bro.
Because I'd be over there with the stone face too. I'd be like, oh my god.
I was in that
hold
bitch.
I want to hold this, son.
That's the turn up moment. That's when the cameras is out. You know,
Yeah,
lights,
so
camera,
that was
action.
fun.
They excited because once you get the bottle, the excitement's gone.
Yeah.
The excitement's there when we there. Boom, photos out like, yeah, we in this bitch. Yeah. And then boom, we put the bottle down and we go away and then everybody's back to just being on their phone like this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
No,
Nigga, that's the exciting part.
that was one of those things. I was just like, oh, I don't want to bring this sign out.
Yeah.
I just be like, oh,
Sorry.
my God.
I didn't like having you. I
But the
didn't like when
signs
you would
were
hold the sign
huge.
because you wouldn't even go with the beat. I was like, Rob, come on.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
going
wanna
left
do
to right. Nigga, fuck. And you're like,
Get with it.
I didn't want to do this shit.
He was off beat, they was up and he be down, up or he be down, up. Yeah.
Sometimes I'd have the sign upside down. I wouldn't even give a shit.
God.
I wouldn't give a damn. That's my shortcoming. I just wouldn't care.
So you're the
I
wrong
just-
person to ask.
Yeah, no.
So mostly you two.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, loved it.
Yeah, that was the best because it's like, think about it. You're there celebrating a birthday and then you see like 4 or 5 people coming out. You're trying to help you celebrate. You got me and another bottle girl and then 2 other guys and you got lights and you got bottles and you got signs. And these signs were, the main reason why we would ask for help was because these signs were huge.
Yeah, they were. Mm-hmm.
Huge. And like, yeah, I could carry it, but when I have, a light and a sign and a bottle and all this stuff, I don't want to like.
I felt like I think the biggest thing for me was the reason why I didn't want to do it because I felt like it was just so
Over the top?
like no, I felt like I wasn't doing nothing. Like I wasn't even doing what I was supposed to.
You
do.
felt like it'd be fake.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I felt like I
But
felt
be
like
happy.
I was better to be more there for like when one of you guys got like inappropriately touched. Like that type of stuff. Like I was more
You gotta be a grinning
More
ass nigga. You gotta
security
grin.
than-
that type of thing. Like
No,
actually
okay,
looking
but
at
I agree, that wasn't your job. We
actually
just
looking
kinda
at
asked for help.
yeah. Now like prior to that, like I wouldn't mind going like because some at the spot we was at sometimes it'd be kind of dead.
Yeah.
So there would be
So we gotta
times
hype it up.
we get the ice. We try to help. We're just trying to do something because I
Yeah.
ain't trying to just stand
Make
there.
the night
Right.
go by.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to carry this sign. I ain't gonna lie.
Rob-
You ain't trying to be in the limelight, huh?
Rob
I
was,
ain't
at,
wanting to do that.
Rob was at Super Gremlin.
No,
On demon time.
No
On
fucks
demon
given.
time.
I just didn't. I didn't want, and I'm not even a person who was on my phone a lot either. Like I just like, man, I didn't want to do that.
Well,
feel you.
that was the best part for me.
I got
Maybe
an
it was the
amazing
worst
picture
for
of
you.
What about the worst? Any worse experiences with
no.
security? Like they didn't handle something that you wanted handled, or you wanted
Well,
someone kicked out and they didn't do it?
Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily your fault. I feel like there should have been just better communication. Like, you guys had, like, headsets?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think one of us should have had a headset.
Feel you there?
Because there have been plenty of times where, like, how can I wave you down when you have, like, people dancing
Right.
and shit,
Mhm.
Right,
And then how can the music is so loud, it's, like, dark in some corners, and it's, like, there are times where I had to step in and, like, try to break shit up because I wasn't trying to...
Was there a time... Was there a time ever that we were working and like someone tried to grab your ass and we had to like find that motherfucker? I felt like that happened.
Okay, so there was one time where I kept walking by a specific spot in the club, right? And I just kept feeling like I was touched. And at first I was like, okay, it's kind of packed in here or whatever, a little bumping into people. And then it wasn't until like the 3rd or 4th or 5th time that I walked by and he was in the same spot. So that one time
Like
I
a
was
ghost
like,
hand.
yeah. So that
Oh,
one
shit.
time I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out. So they went to grab, and I snatched their hand, turned them around, put them in like one of these little,
Arm bars, little
Called
chicken
their
arms.
ass.
whatever the fuck they're called. I've never even practiced that move, but it came out of me, and I just put
Damn.
them in one. I put them in one of those, and they were just like locked up, and I finally figured out who it was. It was just like this random guy, and he was there with his friends, and then I was, it was very clear that it was him because it was that same specific spot.
Mm-hmm.
And his friends were like, what is going on? Blah, blah. I was like, your friend's a creep. He's getting kicked out. Sorry. And I walked him like that all the way out.
Shit. Yeah.
And
felt
then
good.
No
I was
security.
like,
It was you. It was
Fuck
you.
up outta there.
You felt good.
Sheesh.
Get your ass up out of here.
You
Yeah.
felt good after
Fuck
that,
up outta
huh?
here.
Felt
Damn.
good? Did it feel good? Did it feel good? Like you wanted to do it again to somebody else. You want to kick
Grab
him out
my
like
ass.
that.
Somebody else come here.
Like,
Grab my ass.
I'm gonna put somebody else in
did.
the chair.
I was a little proud of myself that I don't know what I did, but I did something and put him in some sort of like lock mechanism.
Right.
It just felt natural.
Locking mechanism.
I was like, maybe I should be security.
180 turn on the wrist.
I said locking mechanism.
Not all bottle services are helpless, man. Watch out, man. You get your arm broke off up in this bitch.
And that happens as we work security, man. We get that. We get told a lot, man. We get girls come up, hey, he needs to leave. Why? He done did this. He did that. He done said this.
I'm a little bit more proactive.
I don't know if
Take matters into my own hands.
Yes.
And I kicked him out. I was
there
like,
was
he's
a
not coming
few
back.
situations like I just remember. I remember the one dude. This sticks with me. Dude had a whole iPad in the club.
What was he doing?
What?
Bro, but it was like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he had headphones. And
No,
shit
you were
too.
I think
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
working
Is he the
at.
nigga
I
that
think
had
you were
fans in
working
front
that
of him to cool
night.
his ass down?
The only reason why
I
I knew
respect
it.
a fan. It gets hot as hell.
Yeah, the nigga
No.
had fans and an iPad. That nigga with the beard, the fake beard.
No, I wasn't that nigga.
Oh, you know who I was
it
talking
was
about.
it was a taller dude, and I'll never forget because I remember because I usually would stay in the same spot or I maybe move over to the other side, but I was on the other. I think we had just kicked somebody out, and I was coming back, and it's dark. All I see is this big ass screen, just hella
Bright light.
and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like. And then it went away, and I stood over there. I was like, "Hold on, there was something's going on." And then it came out again. I'm like, "This fool got an iPad in the club."
What was
and
he doing?
He was putting it in the back of the pocket, like that's what he was using, like
So
as
he
his
broke.
phone or whatever it was.
Interesting.
But I was like, dude, he had a whole.
He's
it wasn't even an
probably in a
iPad
toxic
Mini.
relationship trying to text his girl.
Wait, was it iPad Mini? Was
Yeah.
it?
No.
Was it a Mini? Was it a Pro?
His
Was it a
phone
Poi?
was
It
probably
well,
broke
this
because
was
his
back
girl
then.
broke
So
it.
this was a full on iPad. It was not an iPad.
So
Mini.
10.5 inch.
It was a
Yeah,
it was
she
a
over,
good side ass screen.
yeah,
I
she
think
over here
you-
trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and shit. Like maybe it was just his fun.
No,
right,
I'm
though.
saying his girl probably
Yeah.
broke his phone.
That's a
Oh,
good.
you trying to put a backstory to
right. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
If
Right?
I didn't have a phone, I was gonna go out with my friends, and I didn't.
That
have
nigga wasn't out
anyone
with no
to-
friends. That nigga was by himself.
Oh, that's weird.
Bro,
That dick was on the Wi-Fi.
you speaking to a person who works
The
in
same nigga with the fans in front of him.
telecommunication industry. That means you ain't got nothing but data.
You can't even crawl. You
But I'm
got
saying,
data messages
that
going
nigga-
on.
Hey,
He just
you
goes
ain't got
for the
nothing but
data.
internet.
Right.
So that means
Shit,
all you
stay
doing
blue.
is emailing and DMing.
WhatsApp.
Dude.
There's WhatsApp.
Right.
Hell does.
Yeah, you ain't got no
Messenger.
number associated with that device.
Well, guys, I definitely want to go ahead and take some time to thank you guys for tuning in. We had a super long episode today. That just happens when we're vibing and having a good conversation. Once again, we all in this room kind of worked together at one point in time before COVID. I want to say it was a great establishment at Mish Murdy, where they had super good events. They had cake, Wednesdays, and I love cake Wednesdays. That was a bottle popping war, but we just wanted to take time to thank you guys for tuning in with us late here. We had a really good episode with one of our favorite bottle poppers right here, Yatzeny. So thank you so very much for taking your time. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Go ahead and shout out what you're doing now, because we know that you were a bottle server, and now you're on to bigger and better adventures. Let us know what those are about.
So, I think 6 months before the shutdown, I was already in real estate.
Okay.
So I was, juggling real estate and the nightlife. So I would get off of my shift at 2:30, and then in the morning show property or do open houses and stuff. And I was doing both for a while, but I knew that towards the end I was like, I'm ready to get out. I was ready to get out of the nightlife. But it was hard because, like I said, the money. If I can go to work for a few hours and be able to pay my rent, why not? But I know that I wanted to, dedicate my time, full time into this, because I knew that this is what I wanted. So when the pandemic happened, I was like, this is my way out, and I never looked back. And now I'm definitely just spending 100% of my energy on that. And
In real estate still, right?
yeah, real
Oh,
estate.
nice.
And as of really recent, actually, I haven't even talked about it. but I'm working with a construction company who they do renovations and new development and like construction and flips. So I'm taking over roles of project management and design. So now I'm like really getting into like what I really love, and I really love design, and I really love architecture and real estate. So now like being able to put it all together and do that is just like really exciting for me, and I'm very excited for the future.
It sounds like some Christina and Tarek type aspect, you know, be a realtor and you know how to sell, and then at the same time you learn a designer aspect. So now you can start buying your own homes once you see them on the market and start flipping them. Right? That's awesome. What real estate company are you working for?
Lifestyle Realty in Turlock.
All right, Lifestyle Realty in Turlock. How would we find you if we needed to buy a house?
Yatzeny Cuevas on Instagram, and that's where you can find me.
One more time for everybody. Can you spell that out?
And
Because you know I'm somewhat.
People be illiterate.
Hey.
No, I mean you can't blame. My name is definitely different.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful.
Okay, let me spell it out. Ready? YATZENYCUEVAS on Instagram.
All right, there we
it's
go.
my business account. So
you need a house. She's here locally from
got you.
Sacramento. You know, right now
Or
currently
if you
she's
wanna
working
invest,
in Modesto. You know,
Investment opportunities. Man,
investment
out there.
opportunities. Right now
For
everything's booming, man. So
Do you work with a
definitely
team
reach
like
out.
a loan originator,
Man,
stuff like that?
just-
I don't work with anyone specifically, but you know I'm open to working with people that I don't vouch for them until they prove themselves. You know.
Right.
So I'm open to working with multiple people as long as I know that they can get the job done. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
That's what's up.
Well, once again, guys, we want to thank you guys so very much for tuning in to the best station out here in Sacramento that's giving you all the nightlife advice, man. You're rocking with some of the best right now. You know you're rocking with your boy, King_of_Sacramento. I'm in your fucking living room. Don't forget about our girl right here, Yatzeny. You heard where you can follow her at, right? Go do that shit right now. Take a quick second. Go ahead and swoop up. Go ahead and find her on IG. Don't forget about our main man right over there. One of the best in the building, the best to ever do it. You know what I dig?
You're stroking too hard.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, man. It's Suede_coats, and that's COATES. Get it right, baby. All right, we out here. Don't forget about our main guys. We did a little things different. Now I know Tony probably wasn't on the camera like he should have been today, but he was talking. They got Tony WSJR_official, baby, because it's official like a referee with a motherfucking whistle. Let me tell you, my main man behind the ones and twos tonight. So if you like all our switching back and forth, man, that's our guy. War ready with a 3, not an E, but the 3 in that bitch, all right? Yeah, that I dig. Once again, man, it's about the night, and we thank you so very much for tuning in tonight. Have a great weekend.
Goodbye.
Great week. Right.